I'm Emi Eu. I'm director of STPI. We're based in Singapore and we work with artists in artist residency in our STPI workshop. And STPI Gallery presents works that were produced from our residencies in places like Art Basel fairs. And also in the gallery we have exhibitions after a project. Well, actually I studied business undergrad in the States, in Boston, and then after which I had an opportunity to go and visit our family friend in Italy, Venice, Italy. And that's where I started my kind of an experience in the art market. But when I was in high school, I did an internship at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and that was the first time that I really kind of went into the realm of art field. After spending about 4 years in Venice, I went to Paris to spend 2 years, and I went back to New York, and by the time I got married, and I wanted to pursue like a proper education, but I went to study at NYU to see what is an arts administration like for nonprofit. Then I came to Singapore, and because my husband is a Singaporean, and that's when this STPI was just setting up, so I joined the company in 2001, and we opened officially in 2002 to the public, and here we are. You know, I didn't study art, I didn't study studio art, I didn't study art history. The most important thing is that you have to have passion for the arts and for the artists and appreciation of what they do. I think that's the most important thing. You have to love art and artists. And so I think that's the very most important requirement for anyone who wants to work in the arts. And not intuitive, you have to love it. You have to love the art, and you really must like the art, what artists do. If you don't have passion, you cannot be here. That's what I mean. That's the foremost thing one must have. And of course, after which, you can study about it, the art history, because it is really important. And if you're a practicing artist, of course you go to school. But then, you know, this morning I just heard A.A. Bronson say, why are you studying in school? He dropped out of college and he's doing what he likes to do, which is to make art. And now he's getting honorary doctoral degrees. So he always tells his students, don't spend money to study, because it's much cheaper and easier to get honorary degree later. And he's just saying that education is not everything. It is strictly by invitation, and we invite artists to come and work with us in collaboration with our team of printers and paper makers. And they spend about up to 5 weeks, anywhere between 2 to 5 weeks, and we collaborate to come up with an idea that is wholly new in a sense, because the artists will be working with a very, very different medium than they are used to in the studios. So we use innovative techniques and ideas to produce a whole new body of work. And after which we present it in the gallery with a catalog, a scholarly catalog, and then the gallery then goes out to make sure that the works are placed in good places like museums and collectors' homes. And so and the monies that we make from the gallery goes back into supporting our residency program. So it's like STPI is like a one-stop shop. So we do the artists, production, then presentation, exhibition, fairs, and then it just goes back. You know, STPI invites artists from all around the world. It's not only from the US or Europe, but we work very closely with artists from our region. I think because the geographic proximity is much easier, it facilitates us to work with Asian artists. We try to work with all these artists from around the world because we are really much more interested in working in diverse format and then in people from different regions. And I think whenever the artists are coming into Singapore, the arts community, somehow there's a cross-pollination of ideas, and through just very organically developed meetings. What we do specifically STPI is to really bring out the Singapore artists to these international platforms. So right now, this year in Art Basel, 47 in 2016, we are presenting a Singaporean artist who is based in Berlin in the Unlimited section, his film. And we have also presented him in the film sector before, and in Miami Beach we presented another Singapore filmmaker in the film sector, and in Hong Kong we worked with, we brought Singapore artists' works. So our job, STPI, is really not only working with artists from around the world, but we are very conscientious about promoting and putting effort in making Singapore artists known outside of the region. Yeah. Well, contemporary actually means the same time, and this STPI is really founded upon the idea of working with artists that are living, that artists of our time. So this is what we do. We work only with contemporary artists who are living, because they must come to STPI in Singapore to collaborate with us. And I think by just being part of Art Basel, it becomes global. I think it's a natural thing. I mean, I think contemporary, it's whether global or local, I think what it means really is that's what I was saying, is that contemporary is reflection. I'm interested in reflection of our time. It doesn't matter whether it's local or global. Just reflection of our time. And because the artists come from very different walks of life in different geographic region, if I'm working with artists from all around the world and I'm able to present it in Singapore, I want people to know, because really 21st century knowledge is everything, and to know is everything. I mean, look at Google and internet. That was the whole thing. People are much more plugged in what's happening, and I just want to be able to be part of that, and it kind of happens organically because I work with artists from all around the world, including local. Yeah. So my take on contemporary is I'm just interested in working with artists of our time. So I would like to have exhibitions eventually, but right now the way we work is that what I can do at this moment is to present it in my booth, because there is an international audience. So here we have a Singapore artist, Jane Lee, in this booth, together with artists that are known in Europe and America. And then I'm presenting Singapore artists in Unlimited sector. So little bit by little bit, it's not going to make such a huge difference of one-time presentation, but I'm hoping to do this again and again, year and year, so that it will accumulate and people will get to learn about Singapore artists, yes. Well, I would say that, Singapore, whether Singapore or Southeast Asia in general, I don't feel that there is such thing as art history for Southeast Asian art. I think it's really more about Southeast Asian history and civilization. So the best thing is really to come over and visit Southeast Asia at one point or another, but I think seeing is much more effective than reading about it. Of course, one can read about, just kind of know about the history of our region, and I think that can be done very easily on the website, in the World Wide Web. It's so convenient. And then once you decide to visit some of the places, just kind of feel, and the whole air and the smell and the sight and sounds of Asia is really different. So I would recommend that. And the next best thing, I think, is to come and visit Art Basel Hong Kong, because Art Basel in Hong Kong really kind of gathers a lot of galleries from the region, and that's a very good reflection of what contemporary artists in Southeast Asia are doing. So I think, and also there's a bit of modern section as well, so it's a good opportunity to kind of learn a little bit about that. And Singapore, we opened a National Gallery of Singapore last year, and it has the biggest collection of Southeast Asian art in the world. So that's a really good place to start, to really look at how it developed and then what people are doing now. The collectors from Singapore are very focused on collecting regional art in many forms. It could be contemporary art, but also the textiles, the batiks, and also the jewelry, which plays a very, very big part of the collection, the furniture. So it's more like the civilization type of collecting. And ever since the Art Basel Hong Kong started also with Art Stage Singapore, people are learning to and they're getting more exposed to the arts from the region. Yes, contemporary art, and I think it's growing, and also expanding to international artists as well. I think it's really important because, I mean, without the gallery, our residency program, it's really difficult to do the projects that we would like to do. And even the projects that we are doing, it really requires the funding. So it's kind of like a chicken and egg situation. We have great artists and we want to do certain projects, but if we don't have money, we can't do it. So we have to be commercial, so to make sure that we have the money so that we can do the project, and the project will yield amazing result, which then we have to be commercial to sell so that we can get money to do another really amazing project. So it is very important, yes. I really think that the main responsibility of galleries are to work with artists and grow together with art. I mean, I'm talking about contemporary, ideal situation for contemporary galleries to work with contemporary artists that you can grow with and help develop and nurture their career, the artists, and take care of them while placing their works in either private collections or in institutions, nonprofit institutions. So that's what we're doing. So I think the word commercial is only referring to the fact that we do make money, we make sales, we do make money, but that money all goes back into funding our residency program. So commercial, the word is not really right. What we try to do, our gallery tries to do, is that we want to make sure that the works that we produce go into really good private collections, but at the same time we do also place the works in institutions. So I think we're fulfilling that kind of the role of the gallery that I think is the most ideal. While we don't work with artists on an exclusive basis, we work with artists on project basis. We want to make sure that from start to end, it's started well and then it ends well by placing all the works in the right places. Yeah. I'm one of the members of selection committee for Art Basel Hong Kong. Before Art Basel Hong Kong, it used to be called Art HK, and the Basel management bought over. So, so I serve as a committee member. And I think Art Basel, as a management, they want to make sure that they provide a high quality and sustain the high quality exhibition wherever they are. And they wanted to make sure of the choices of the galleries that they present in the fair. So they have asked people from different regions to be part of it. And when I'm there as a member of the committee, I make sure that the galleries also understand and know what they present. And then I also lobby for the galleries who are applying to the fair, because not everybody is aware of what is happening in Asia. So yes, I do have a big responsibility, and I try to make sure that I fulfill that. I mean, there's like no education process, but I mean, I do get galleries from Singapore, for example, asking me whether it's a good idea for next year. So I mean, as a colleague, also I'm very much involved in the Art Galleries Association of Singapore. So I have a vested interest in making sure that the galleries make good applications, and the more galleries from Singapore, I'm much happier. I think Singapore, there's still a lot of room for growth in everything. I mean, it's probably one of the most organized and has a very strong infrastructure country-wide in any sense, in every sense. And the Singapore government and the Singaporeans, they really work hard to deliver and maintain very high quality. So, I mean, in terms of in the art sector, I mean, with the opening of National Gallery of Singapore, which is slated to be the most important museum in the region, talking about Southeast Asian art, I think there's a whole lot of room for growth and development and more exciting things to come. So I think it is very, very exciting. STPI will continue. I mean, we've been around since 2002, so this is like our 14th year going on to 15th, and I just feel like we've just started to really get going in working with artists that we want to. We have a lot of artists on our wish list, so we're going to just continue work on it, and just to make sure that we develop really good program, continue to develop a good program, provide artists with opportunities to work with interesting and innovative way to make work in this collaboration, because we just never know what can come out. And the word collaboration is something that is so open, it's very vast, but at the same time, it's togetherness. And when artists are amongst us, in the midst of us, there's like a whole different atmosphere. I mean, they're very special people, and we just want to make sure that our marriage with my team and the artists will just bring out amazing projects that you can see in our booth, which these are samples of that. And I would like to continue to provide that to the public.